This is a basic Veritorq unit. This happens to be a 300 inch-pound unit. It's a customer unit that's come in for repair, and it has some problems, so we're using it as an example to show how to figure out if your unit's operating properly or not. It's got 4 buttons on the front: units, which is used to change the units of measure; 0, which is quite literally its description, it zeroes out any offset on the unit; the clear print button, which is used to either clear the display, or if you have this hooked up to a computer and wish to print the results of a particular operation, it will do that. And then the peak select button is used to pick whether you're in track mode, click mode, or peak mode. This particular unit comes in, it was in inch-pounds and in click mode. So it goes through a startup, shows that it's a 300i, and you notice that it has no reading on it at all. If this was being used by an operator in the field, he would put a screwdriver or a click wrench on here and check to see how accurate it is. I'm currently using a Cal 36 screwdriver, which is set for 30 inch-pounds, which is 10% of the rated value. And if we go clockwise with it, you'll notice that I've come up with 126.8 inch-pounds, which is nowhere near accurate. And you'll notice that it's not auto clearing, which we'll typically do after 2 or 3 seconds. So we'll hit the clear button to clear it. We'll try going in the other direction, counterclockwise. And you'll notice that I've got a 98.36 value. Also, not very accurate for our purposes here. This unit has a problem. To discover what the problem is, I'm going to take the unit out of clicker mode and move it into track mode using the peak select button. And you'll notice that I now have a continuous reading coming out of it in the 97 inch-pound range. This is what the unit is perceiving as the output from the transducer. In this particular instance, the transducer says I'm being torqued to 97 inch-pounds, which obviously it is not. It is a starting point, so if I apply clockwise torque, you'll notice it increases. If I apply counterclockwise torque, you'll notice the value goes down, but always returns to 97 inch-pounds. The Veritorq has the ability to zero the offsets out. So what I'm going to do is actually do that in this case. I'm going to use the 0 button. And using the software, we have taken that offset and zeroed it out. Kind of like taking tear weight off for a container that's going to be used for counting product. I can now apply torque, and I get readings in the clockwise direction, and I get readings in the counterclockwise direction. If I go back to clicker mode, go clockwise, I get 29 inch-pounds, almost 29 inch-pounds, and it auto clears. That means it recognizes that the operation is over with, it's not perceiving torque, and it allows itself to clear. I go into counterclockwise direction, I get negative 28.9. The screwdriver is rated plus or minus 6%, so we may be just barely within that, but not as accurate as we would like, but a lot closer than 97 inch-pounds. We put it into peak mode, we will get similar results clockwise and counterclockwise. If I don't want to wait for the auto clear, I can hit the clear button, and that'll eliminate it right away. I go back to track, and we're still at 0. I'm going to turn off the unit now and turn it back on so that we eliminate the zeroing and recognize that we have an offset here that is built into the unit. This particular unit was, as far as I can tell, over-torqued badly to the tune that it has now put a permanent bias on the transducer gauge. And at this particular value, I suspect that not only is it damage the transducer in a manner, but it will also be impossible to calibrate. This one's about 30% of scale, over 30% of scale, and at that point you usually cannot calibrate the unit to bring it back within spec and have it hold this both consistently and accurately. So at this point I'll probably have to recommend to the customer a major repair of the transducer replacement itself. But this gives you an idea of if you've had a unit that you've over-torqued and you need to check and see how much you're off by. If you live in the clicker mode like many of our customers do, you will not pick up on the fact that your unit has an offset until you start doing readings and they're not as accurate as you would like. Take the unit out of clicker mode, move it down to track mode, and see if the transducer is constantly producing a torque value. And at that point recognize that it's time to send the unit in for service. Have Sturtevant take a look at it and see if it's something that is easily repaired or not so easily repaired, and if it's recalibratable again.